Dare I say it? Dare I say it? I agree with the governor of California. Crazy. Look at that shine. It makes my head look all shiny. That's my cul-de-sacs right there. Look how shiny that is. Oops, other side. Whew. All right. Anyway, I agree with the governor of California. Today is huge. It's a wonderful, wonderful day. The NCAA is on its last breath. I could not be happier because the NCAA is the most corrupt group of wealthy individuals. It's the anti-Robin Hood. They're taking from the poor kids, mostly black inner city kids, and giving it to rich administrators, rich college coaches, mostly white. I'm a white guy. This completely is a completely dishonest group of people that are stealing money from young athletes, and it's got to stop. And for one, I could not be happier. I think it's great. So California just passed. The governor just signed. I think it looked like it's unanimous. A law that says they can make money off their images. I don't think they can get paid, but they can do like I was watching my man Flemlow, and I'll put a link in the show notes that he says that the NCAA, you can now do a YouTube channel while you're playing sports and whatnot. Apparently there's a guy named Destroying. I've seen a couple of his videos. I like him a lot, actually. I haven't watched as many as I watched Flemlow. But anyway, he had to choose between continuing on as a kicker for UCF or doing his YouTube channel. What the hell, man? I mean, here's a young guy. I don't know what his background is. I don't know. But all I know is, like, why would you make him choose between doing his YouTube channel and being enrolled in school as a kicker on scholarship? That's freaking insane. It's insane. It's theft to say to him, we're going to use your skills to profit off, and you can't. And if you get hurt, well, it sucks to be you. Oh, but Josh, they get a free education. Screw the damn education. The education is a joke. We all know it's not worth freaking 2 cents. The idea that this education means anything anymore is silly. We know this. I don't know about the vast majority. I was reading today in Georgia. All right, Georgia, and this has nothing to do with college athletics. 5 of our schools in the state of Georgia, state schools, all right, the students who attend Georgia state schools, 5 of them, less than 1% of Pell Grant recipients actually graduate. Less than 1%. That's money they're getting for going to college from the government. All right, so there's something corrupt, obviously, there. There's something corrupt to telling this guy Destroying with his million followers that he can't do his YouTube channel anymore because it violates the amateur context. All the while, these freaking administrators, presidents, freaking on top of that, the coaches are making bank. It's freaking insane. And so now Flemmo is saying that now you can have a third-string quarterback who plays for USC. He can now offer training classes on the off season. It's freaking awesome. Could not be happier for these athletes. Could not be happier because the NCAA is corrupt. Who is the guy from Fiesta Bowl? I forgot his name. Junker was his name, which is odd because the guy from the EU was named Junker too. I think the guy from the EU that spelled Junker with a C. This guy was a Junker, Junker. He was just corrupt as the day is long. The president of the Fiesta Bowl it was like over $1 million being bribed every which way to Sunday. And then all these guys who go play in the Fiesta Bowl, they don't make anything. But they get a free education. Half of them aren't graduating. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anyway because what they're learning doesn't mean crap. We all know this. They are there to serve their masters, which are the freaking college coaches, the college administrators, and the Fiesta Bowl, and all the professionals that go with the NCAA. That's what they're there for. So this is a huge, huge first step to break this monopoly of the NCAA. I could not be happier. I'm stoked. My man Ed O'Bannon, you might not remember him. I do. Yeah, he was a bigwig for UCLA back in the day in basketball, and he took a lot of arrows. There's always got to be a pathfinder. Always got to be a pathfinder who's going to take the arrows. And Ed O'Bannon said, "You can't deny me my rights. You're using my image. You're profiting on it, and I don't have the right to do so. It's wrong." And he's absolutely right. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. Anyway, so I'm stoked. The funny thing is right now, if I was a recruiter in Alabama and I'm recruiting for Alabama talent, let's just put it this way, California is going to have a leg up because these guys now can go to California schools and make money off their images, off their uniform sales and stuff, off their YouTube channel, off anything they want. And so you're going to have a hard time competing against California schools when they can get paid as well as being an athlete on scholarship in California state schools. And because, I mean, schools all outright. I think it's, I mean, I could not be happier. Just on a side note, you may, like, you might, I've only been doing YouTube for a year and a half, but I've been saying since 1990, when Georgia Tech and Colorado tied for the NCAA championship in football, that the thing is corrupt as all can be. And that was when Cordell Stewart and Michael Westbrook, you remember that they had this last second pass that I think Westbrook caught for a touchdown. I'm almost positive at the same time. But anyway, either way, it was Georgia Tech and Colorado tied for the championship. I said, why can't they just play for a freaking playoff? It's nuts. Anyway, long story short, I've been advocating for a freaking college football playoff of 16 teams for as long as literally since then, because it's nuts that this doesn't happen. And I was talking to a guy today, a big SEC fan, Alabama fan. He's like, well, they're going to get hurt because they play more games. I said, dude, every other division does it, from freaking NAIA up to Division II to FCS. FCS. They all play playoffs. Well, they're not as talented as our guys. I don't argue that doesn't make any sense. If they're not as talented, that means they would probably be more prone to injury because they're not as quick, as athletic. And certainly there are many good players who play for JUCO, who play for Division I, II, who simply, or Division I AA, FCS, who simply are not able for some reason to go to one of the big schools. I mean, Terrell Owens went to Tennessee Tech, for instance. All right, I mean, Walter Payton, Jackson State. I mean, so we got tons. I mean, Danny Woodhead went to North Dakota State. I mean, there's tons of guys that come up from small universities, small schools to go play in the NFL. Hell, a lot of these guys, look at Kurt Warner. He went to Northern Iowa and he was stacking shells. So the idea that they're playing an extra game is going to get hurt is silly. But I get it. That's what there's always an argument, and the proponents of the way it is, which typically is one certain division in school, conference in school, and the bowls. They love it because they still get paid in a conference, not just a conference championship, but actually a full-fledged not round robin, but 16-team playoff would take away their ability for bribes without question. The Fiesta Bowl, the Junker guy, all these guys would totally take away, but it add a level of competition that every single other sport in the history of mankind does, except for NCAA. And if you want to reduce the schedule, get rid of the powder puff teams. Don't play University of Louisiana Monroe, for instance. So get rid of that powder puff game and just go straight. Say we're going to go straight to the conference. Maybe a couple out of conference games with the other big 5 or 6 conferences. And we'll play 8 in-conference games, 2 out of conference. We have 10 games. Get rid of the powder puff games, and then we're going to the playoffs, or however you want to do it. But the idea that they're going to play too many games is silly because they do that anyway in all the other divisions. So big day, my friends. Awesome. All right, we'll see you next time.